Well, cheers and how you do, Buckaroos? How the heck are you? So I've got this, however you pronounce it, Phil Schlupp in my box, 7.2%. My wife found it at Aldi's. It was 5.99 for the 4 pack. I couldn't find much on their website about it other than it's 7.2%. Cranking this Hollywood Rock CD. This is disc 3 from it. It's one of Seamus's box sets. I didn't share them. Track 17 out of 20 on this disc is playing. It's the Hangman Desperate Town. So I should mention right away that I don't own any rights to any of this, any music that you may or may not be able to hear. So I tell you about it. I do like the Maibock style. It's kind of a forgotten style. Not many craft breweries do it anymore. Many did about a decade ago anyway, but there are trendier styles these days. It seems like if it's going to be a German style, only German styles anybody wants to do is a Goza or a Berliner Weiss. Every once in a while, you'll see a Pilsner, but for the most part, but the Maibach is a great style. I'm just sad it's been forgotten about by so many craft breweries. This one has a nice clean nose. It's a little herbal. Oh, nice. Wow. Damn. Malty, as you might expect. I just got a hint of caramel malt there. A little bit of caramel at the end to finish this clean. It's a little herbal on the hoppage department. That's nice. It's a nice clean. I love this style. I really do. I wish more craft breweries would do it. This is a traditional German one here, um, but I do like the style. Well, I'm not surprised knowing the way the trends are, but I do remember there was a time when a lot of craft breweries were doing this style, but seems like nobody wants to do one these days. Everything either has to have 100 ingredients, be hopped to high heaven, or be sour. Either of those things, be sour as hell, make your asshole pucker, wreck your palate, or have more ingredients than anything ever needs. Use use yeast cultivated from the pubic hair of an Aboriginal pygmy elder. Everything's got to be some kind of gimmick these days, rather than just doing solid beer styles. This one is rather nice, actually, especially for only 5.99 for the 4 pack of pint cans. I mean, that is a hell of a deal, man, for a solid beer. I would certainly recommend it to all my beer geek friends that weren't enamored by the trends. If you love craft beer and have a mind of your own, and don't think you can only drink what beer is trendy at the moment. My hair's doing some funky shit today. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, kind of in between haircuts, and it's either too short to do anything with or too long to do anything with if you're following me. Yeah. You need to let it grow out or just shave it off. And since we're coming into the summer, I'm leaning towards shaving it off because my OCD and Tourette's are making me nuts so with it. Anyways, I digress for going off track there. This is making me nuts here because I was real short. I got a part on the side, but now it's not looking right parted on the side. So when it gets longer, I go straight back with it, but it's not quite long enough to go straight back with it. Still wants to stick up in every direction. Back to the beer, if you can. Again, the aromas are very clean. I mean, you do get hints of that caramel malt. There's also some very pleasant herbal notes as well. But what's nice is the finish. You can kind of just where you think it's going to start getting sweet, it just dries up clean on you. It's very nice. It's a nice. I mean, damn, this thing was only 5.99 for the 4 pack. Pour the rest of it in there. There you go. That pours very nice. So it's a deep golden. kind of a, I'm going to call it an off-white head. It's very dense, creamy. There you go. Looks very nice. Very appealing beer, in my opinion. Unless you're one of those that thinks your beer has to be, murky as all hell these days, because that's what's trendy, Tom. That's what everybody else says I should like, Tom. So that's the beer I'm going to like. That's kind of what's going on at craft beer right now. They don't necessarily like it because they like it. They like it because everybody else says they should like it. We got those trend hoppers, man. I mean, people didn't wear shirts with an alligator on it back in the '80s because they were just the alligator looked so cool. They did it because everybody else was doing it. I mean, they didn't have a jacket, a funky plastic jacket with a members only because it was. They did it because they thought it made them cool. I never wore either, just for the fucking record. I didn't wear an alligator shirt. I didn't wear a members only jacket. Again, because I have a mind of my own and don't follow the herd. Don't follow the herd. Drink what's good. There you go. And this is can't seem to do a video these days without entertaining somebody. Don't necessarily mean to. It just sort of comes out. Like Jessica Rabbit. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. I have opinions. I got things I need to say, man. Not everybody likes what I have to say. See, I almost segued into politics. I'm going to avoid that right now. Oh, what do we drift into here? Track 19 out of 20. The band is Kills for Thrills. The song is Commercial Suicide. Yeah, I don't think you can hear any of this stuff because my mic on this thing isn't that good. If I move my head this way, you can't hear what I'm saying. So I'm guessing it's probably not picking up the music, but if it does, I don't have any either. This is a nice box set though because it contains a lot of Hollywood bands from the early '80s that didn't hit the big time, but it shows how deep and diverse the music scene was back then. We saw so many great bands. A lot of them did hit the big time. A lot of them didn't. The ones that didn't doesn't necessarily mean they weren't as good. It just didn't happen for them. I think that's something that gets overlooked. Talent doesn't necessarily get you there. There's a lot of other things. There's a lot of talentless folks selling a million records, folks. If you've heard a Justin Bieber song, you know what I'm talking. Anyways, I digress. Personally, I don't get the Bruno Mars thing. I don't think the kid has talent. I think the songs are lyrically horrible, but he sells a million records. So there you go. I don't think the music is deep. I don't think there's anything good about him at all. But I digress. I didn't see a lot of great bands back in the '80s. It's funny. I played a little bit. I was never very good to be honest with you, but I played keyboards back then. And one of the reasons I moved on, other than knowing I didn't have talent, was that I saw one band. I actually won tickets to see a band at Madame Wong's. And Madame Wong's at the time, I assume they still do. I don't know. They had three rooms, and you kind of had to work your way up the food chain. And they were the highest up the food chain, headlining that night in the big room. I don't know if I should mention the name of the band or not. I'm going to. What the hell? What can happen to me at this point? That one's called Braven. And the leader of the band, Braven, I think his name was Bart Braven, but I don't remember. I could be wrong there, but I remember Braven was the guy's name last name. Anyways, he was a keyboard player, did the vocals, wrote the tunes, had a great band behind him. I mean, incredible musicians. And I remember watching that band that day, and I was thinking, wow, these guys are fantastic. I mean, the music is amazing. It's layered, it's textured. The lyrics were fine. Uh, and then by the end of the show, I was just, of course, I was only 22 at the time, but I did have kind of an idea what music was like. I just knew they weren't going to, because of what was going on at that particular time in about 1982. I knew they were going to never hit the big time, although They had more talent than many bands that were getting signed. I saw the bands that were getting signed. I saw the bands that weren't getting signed. I said, damn, these guys are that good. And you know they're not going to get a deal. But I saw a lot of bands like that back then. And that was the great thing about Hollywood back in the 80s, man. I saw so many great acts. I saw a lot of acts. I mean, I saw Metallica at a club when they were the second of three bands. They weren't even a headliner, and I thought at the time that is the worst band I've ever seen in my life. It was like a year or so later they had a record deal. I mean, I still think the band sucks. I've never liked them. I thought they were one dimensional, but they have a niche. There are people that identified with what they were doing. I never did, but I still don't. To be honest with you, I mean, I listen to some of the songs that people tell me are wonderful, and I still don't get it. I mean, the lyrics I think are simple, and the music is one dimensional. I still don't get that band, but anyways, I mean, I saw Rat, Great Whites, a lot of bands backing clubs back in the day. Wasp, I saw Wasp back in their meat throwing days. Back in their meat throwing days, man. Back when they were chucking raw meat at the audience. Oh, shoot. Oh, Lord have mercy. So, anyways, Maibock. Focus on the Maibock, Tom. The Maibock is nice. It's a nice style. We're going into track 20, so I'm going to wrap this video up before the song finishes. It's a solid version of the style. I mean, it is a classic German version. It is very malty, yet not overly so. It never gets very sweet. It is dry. It's herbal. It does what the style is supposed to do. So there you go. Track 20, if anybody cares, is the Demoles. The song is Action. But I was looking through this disc and some of the bands that I did see back then. I mean, there's Keel, uh, Bang Tango, Black Cherry. Wow. I have to dig out the other discs now that I've got this one. You know, I've kind of been reminiscing. I was looking for some DVDs yesterday, and sandwiched between two DVDs was Seamus's uh, disc, Real Big Fish. So I put that in and kind of reminisced a little bit while my wife wasn't home. So, anyways, to make a long video not any longer, we'll wrap this up. I found that Real Big Fish CD and I just cranked it. And wife and I are kind of in a situation at the moment that's not good, but mean, not between her and I, just our overall situation. There's some things happening that are, it's hard to interpret them anyway as negative, but I'm trying to find a positive in it, meaning that, I think maybe, finding that real big fish disc yesterday, I think it's Seamus's way of telling us it's, I don't think I'd have found that if he hadn't directed me to it. And I think we're kind of being forced in a direction where we need to either move forward or give up. And, I'm hoping we're able to just keep moving forward, even though it seems like a negative situation at the moment. Um, Without explaining it to you, it's hard to look at it any other way. But we've been kind of stagnant for 4 years. Neither my wife or I have been able to really move forward since we lost Seamus to leukemia 4 years ago. But things have been happening, since April 23rd was 4 years, and a lot of things have just happened since then that put us where we are right now. So I mean, we're in that situation now where it's either find a way to keep going or stop. And so that's kind of where we are at the moment. So kind of hoping just that I can find a way to keep going forward. So there you go. Hey, I am Don the Beer Whisperer, finishing a Maibock that my wife found at an Aldi store. Beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker. Oh, Gosh, this is good. It really is. Purveyor of Wisdom and Big Bad Mama Jamma. Oh.